Word. And we are live. Monday evening, Boston Celtics take on the Washington Wizards. Score is 126 to 107. What's going on, y'all? This is the No Look podcast. I am your host, Marvin Izan, and I'm happy to have you guys here. I'm going to be doing this Mondays and Thursdays. I'm going to come on here and whether the Celtics play or not, review the season, see what's going on in NBA. But anytime the Celtics do play, we'll do instant reactions, quick post-game shows on what's happening with the C's, man. And Celtics made sure to take care of business today. Once again, the score 126 to 107, led by Jaylen Brown, who had 36 points off of 13 of 24 shooting, 6 rebounds, 3 steals. JB is the story of the game. From tip-off, he was the most aggressive player. He came to play. I mean, he's hearing the noise. Everyone was on his head after game 1. Game 2, he came big in the fourth quarter, and now this third game, this is what JB does. He's a scorer. He attacks the paint. He's very aggressive, and he had to quiet people down. 330 mil. People are gonna bring that up as much as they can. Everyone's gonna bring up the left hand, and with reasons, Celtics fans are salty about how the Eastern Conference went. I've talked to you guys about how the ESF happened. You got Mike Nice in the building. Talk to you guys about how the ECF happened. But JB's ready, man. JB's ready. He's hasn't looked like he's taken any step back. There's talks of who's gonna be the second man, KP or JB. The team's gonna run through the Jays. And I think that was a statement right there. Jaylen Brown, once again, 36 points. Jason Tatum, not to be outshined, had himself, 33? He had 33 points off of 49 from the 3, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Obviously, everyone's going to talk about Jaylen Brown in this game and how aggressive he was. JT got most of his points in the second half, 17 in the third quarter when things were a lull. He was knocking him down. One thing I'm liking about JT this year, looking like that 3 is finally dropping. If you guys remember, Jason's been really struggling with the 3 ball for the past couple years. Really, when the Celtics anointed him the guy, the 3 ball has not been there. Everything else has been amazing with Tatum, but the 3 ball, it looks like this year he's really been able to knock him down, and that might have to do with just the talent, the 5 guys that are on the floor, and having KP there. Porzingis, someone we're going to talk about, he's changed the whole dynamic of how the Celtics team plays. Literally, when they are in a lull now, Celtics have someone where they can just dump it off into the middle, and 10 times out of 10 times, unless he's going to face Wemby, he's the bigger man, and all he needs to do is be patient, turn around, and he's getting it in there. And it's changed the whole dynamic how Celtics want to do. There's been times in the past that we've seen possession stall, whereas ISO Tatum or ISO JB, and everyone's just 5 wide out, not knowing what to do, and hoping for one of them to bail you out. Now you really have a game changer with Porzingis in there in the paint, and he did just that, especially in the first quarter. This whole game, really, we're just gonna talk about the first half. That's that's where all the action was, and Wizards were really small, no Gafford tonight, so they just took advantage and just dumped it off to Porzingis until he got into foul trouble and had to leave. And the beauty of this team now is when Porzingis gets in foul trouble, who comes in is Al Horford. Well, listen, man, I love Al, but this may need to be his last year. We don't need Al Horford um going on into. Let's get him a chip this year. 16 minutes is what I like to see. If Al Horford can give you 15 to 18 minutes a night, if that's all we need from Al Horford, I'm gonna take it, man. I'll take that any single day of the week. Celtics, once again, score is 126 to 107. This is just my instant reactions, things that I've seen throughout the game. And we can talk about really the first 3 games. Something I do want to bring up when we bring up the first 3 games and what's going to make this team so special Obviously, we're gonna bring up Drew Holiday. Obviously, people are gonna bring up Kristaps Porzingis. But the real reason, in my eyes, the real reason why the Celtics will be so dominant this year is because of this dude who is averaging 30 minutes a game, and that is Derek White. Celtics are going to go as far as Derek White. Not as far as Derek White takes them, but Derek White is going to be the big reason why the Celtics go as far as it. Last year, you remember we were in a log jam with Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon, and White. To the point, Derek White didn't play the second half of fourth quarters. And it would drive me crazy because, in my opinion, he was the third best player on this team. Now, when you get rid of Williams, you get rid of both. When you get rid of both Williams, you get rid of Brogdon, Marcus Smart. You know, people talk about depth and, oh man, you lose so many of these players, it's going to be worth it. You forget that some of those minutes now have to go to D White. D White's now the starter of the team. He's making this engine go, and I'm loving it. I'm loving everything I'm seeing from D White, and I think he's the secret sauce. He's the secret sauce to what the Celtics team is going to be. Drew Holiday has been amazing so far, just as advertised. You can see why everyone loves him, why he's on this team. Porzingis, we just spoke about it. The inside presence, that two-man game him and JB had today didn't look too bad. The first game, it was KP and JT. I saw a lot of JB action with KP this time, and he's just always going to be solid. I think he's going to get the easiest looks he's ever gotten in his career all year. And if JB and JT are going to be shooting like they are, golly, bro, it's going to be easy money. See, now in my notes, I had some defense on the bench. And then the bench played the whole fourth quarter, and it's making me reconsider how I want to talk about this. I want to say some good things about the bench here. Not even good things. I think it was Scalabrini. Scalabrini brought up something that is so important. It was like, obviously, the bench is going to be a talking point all year. Like, people are going to say, oh, the bench isn't too deep, the bench isn't this and that. And they're going to look at bench points. People are always going to look at bench points when they want to see how good a bench is doing. And Scal said, with a team this deep and has these many options, you can't really look at bench points to see production. And I agree with that. When you have all five of these guys plus Al Horford, I'm not looking at bench points. I'm really looking at well do they play when they're with the starters. Are they playing defense? Are they spreading the floor? Are they making a couple threes when they're open? Because look, there's not many shots for them. I don't care who's coming off the bench. There's not going to be many shots. If you watch this game, the Celtics scored 77 points in the first half. It was all the starters. The bench is not going to have much time. Like, we're all happy for Pritchard, and he's got this contract, and we're thinking Pritchard maybe could have been, a really solid six man for this team. He's not going to get much. He's not going to get much run. It's just you got to feed JT, you got to feed JB. Drew Holiday, he's gonna want. He's not gonna say it, but he's gonna want his 15 points at least. D White is scoring. Look, there's not much points there for the bench, so let's not freak out about bench points. See, that's what I wrote before I watched the fourth quarter. That fourth quarter was pretty trash. That fourth quarter right there made the Celtics bench look like a bunch of dumbasses. That can't happen. That cannot, and it was against the Wizards bench too. Both teams waved the white flag. So I don't understand why they played so bad. But one thing Mike Nice always brings up is like Pritchard's he's not a real point guard. He didn't really initiate the offense very well. O'Shea Brissett can't really shoot. Sam Hauser, though, it wasn't falling. 2 for 9 from the three-point line. It was not falling for Hauser at all. Cornette, what does Cornette bring to you? Other than comic relief. What does Cornette really bring to this team? So it's only 3 games in, but Coach Mazzulla is going to need to start switching it up a little bit. Maybe play the rookie Walsh. See what Walsh can bring for you. See what Stevens can bring to you. Stevens came in the waning minutes of the game, and you just saw effort and production. That's what you want to see from your bench. I'm not going to go crazy over bench points, but you're gonna need to see some type of production. Mike said Cornette sucked. Yeah, Cornette doesn't bring much to this team at all. So when there is gonna be time when, and here's what the issue is, and this is where my defense for the bench can't go too crazy because when Porzingis does need rest, when Al Horford's not playing that back to back, you're gonna have enough firepower most nights. So it's not gonna be the craziest issue. But you better hope you're not going up against the Miles Turners, the Joel Embiids, the Giannis's when they're going to attack straight in the middle. Because one thing we know about KP, that boy's gonna get in foul trouble. He got slow feet. He tall, can shoot the hell out the ball. Boy can't move them puppies. He gonna get in foul trouble. He's shown it for the first 3 games that he can get attacked as tall as he is. He's a rim protector, and that's fine. Al Horford's 37. Who is going to be that solid big off your bench? And you might have them, but you got to play them. You got to start playing these guys out there. Or you go out and you make a move. There's still time. I still believe Celtics by January are going to get another big on this team. But Sam House's got to get it together. Or you play Svi. Play Svi out there. See what production you could get from this team. But once again, right now, I am not panicking on no type of bench play whatsoever. I love what I saw from Drew Holiday in this game. Drew Holiday is solid. I feel like he's just gonna be a dude you just watch and say he's not gonna make too many mistakes and just he's not gonna be required for much. My only fear is that he gets lost in the sauce offensively. And he's by all accounts, he's a very unselfish player. He might say, he doesn't care. Well, but you want to get him involved somehow. Like I like when they get him in the post and he gets a couple of touches. I like seeing him call his own number because Holiday is a good scorer. He's a good offensive player. Maybe I'm just not used to it. I'm used to our point guards just chucking up random shots, and maybe that's just different to me. I'm having PTSD because most times we would have seen Marcus Smart say, "Yeah, cool. I see JB got 30, or I see JT cooking. I gotta get mine." And maybe I'm just not used to that yet. But man, oh man, the story of the game once again: Celtics blow out the Wizards 126-107. It really wasn't that close. It was our bench that let them get closer. Story is Jaylen Brown. The question for all year is, can Jaylen Brown still be that second all NBA type player? Will his turnover demons take over? When now all the spotlight is on him every night when there's going to be a lot of primetime games for the Celtics because of who they are. TNT, ESPN, every night that they play, they're going to bring up the Eastern Conference Finals. They're going to bring up Jaylen Brown. Anytime he has a turnover, they're going to bring up his struggles with that. All eyes are on him. People that the casual fans now just bring up Jaylen Brown and his left, make jokes about it. This was a great way to quiet the noise, albeit it's against the Washington Wizards. My critique of Tatum last year and the years before was, bro, you're dropping 60 against the Wizards, the bum ass Spurs. That's great. We need to see you do it against the elite teams. And to Tatum's credit, when it comes to the playoffs, he does it. And that's what's made him now a top 5, top 6, 7 player in everyone's eyes because he's done it. Now we got to see that from JB too. Want to see that from JB in big games. How are you going to respond? It was a little shaky against Miami. He came out big in the fourth. But somehow Miami, he was still struggling with the turnover. I think JB is going to be all right. I think playmaking, you can see he's making a huge effort. Porzingis makes it a lot easier when it comes to that. Porzingis will make it very easy to become a better playmaker. But I think JB struggles with finding the open man in the corners. They're right there. Find the open man in the corner. Sometimes he hesitates, and when he finally gets it to that open man in the three, the defense collapses on it. So just making quicker, just more decisive decisions with the ball. And I think he will be okay. I really do. I think he's going to be fine. Defensively, Celtics look great. They put a lot of pressure on Jordan Poole. A lot of pressure on that team. Let's look at how the Wizards did. Jordan Poole had just 11 points. 1 for 5 for the three, 5 for 11 for shooting. Kuzma, 21. He led the way for the Washington Wizards. He had a decent game, 9 for 15, 3 for 6 for the three, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. But they really couldn't do much. They couldn't attack the paint. They got turnovers. A lot of their points were off the Celtics turnover. And that's something that the Celtics are going to have to clean up as well. Celtics ended up with 18 turnovers in this game. And it was just sloppy play. Obviously, once you start blowing out a team like that, you start being a little more careless with the basketball. But that's what is going to be interesting. Seeing how this defense evolves. They let up a lot of corner threes that I thought could have been handled. But it's third game. Third game into the season. I'm loving what I'm seeing. Sorries of the game. Let's get to it. Star of the game has to go to the guy we've been talking about, Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown was nasty, aggressive, and I see that being his mentality going forward. He's always been a great first quarter guy, and then he kind of winds down throughout the game. This game, we saw it just go throughout. After the half, still, even though Tatum was exploding for 17 points, Jaylen Brown was right there, and it was the JBJT show. That is the star of the game. I'm not even going to give it to the Washington Wizards because they're trying to tank. The sorry goes to the Celtics bench. That fourth quarter stint, I didn't like that at all. That was discouraging. It was bad basketball all around. Bad basketball all around. So to the Celtics bench for the fourth quarter stint that you guys had, I'm gonna give you guys a sorry. And that was instant reactions for the Celtics Wizards. Celtics play again very soon. Who do they have coming up into the schedule? We're recording this on Monday night. They have the Indiana Pacers. Indiana Pacers always play us tough. You guys saw Neesmith. Neesmith been chirping, when he got traded to the Pacers 2 years ago now. It's a season ago. Bleacher Report has said, damn, they really gave up. They pretty much said, paraphrasing, they pretty much said Neesmith got given. We got Malcolm Brogdon for a bag of chips, calling Neesmith a bag of chips. Neesmith, he's been balling this year. He's been putting up some points. He got a little contract now, and shout out to him, man. Shout out to Neesmith. But he said, "Oh yeah, y'all still feel this way?" So that's a nice little subplot. Nice little subplot before the Pacers game. But Pacers always play us really tough. I'm a big fan of Halliburton, like Mathurin. So I'm excited for that game Wednesday night. We'll be back here on Thursday, chopping it up, seeing how the Celtics are doing. Hopefully they start off the season 4-0. We all know seeding is important, so all of these games count. This is Marv. This is the No Look Podcast. I'll see you guys Thursday.